What does it take to make a global hit, follow it up, and stay grounded even when losing a parent? Meeting new challenges in a life you might have dreamt of but could not really have predicted. My guest today is Mr. Cheerleader himself, Omar Omi Pasley, a Jamaican-born artist whose talent has left people happy all over the world. I'm Archibald Gordon. This is Profile. Welcome to part 2 of my interview with Mr. Cheerleader, Omar Omi Pasley. Welcome to Profile. I'm Archibald Gordon. And last week we talked all about, your journey. Growing up in Clarendon, making music and experimenting with music and with art throughout high school, and led up to the point of talking a little bit about the song itself and how you devise the actual sound. So you devise the sound, you devise the hook, you get to the studio, you are being told you have something that is potentially good and you have to work it out.
Yes.
I've seen an interview in which you said Specialist was like a mad scientist.
Yes.
What do you mean?
If I bring 65%, he will bring the rest to make it 100. And that's how his mind works. He hears stuff that, we don't hear, even as musicians. And we know that some of the best, like Michael Jackson was an awesome musician, but he didn't play an instrument, but he knew exactly what he wanted to hear. I think I would kind of describe Specialist like that.
So he's adding different kinds of instruments.
Definitely, he hears it. And he might not be able to reproduce it with an instrument, but he hears it and he can direct you in terms of what to play. So
you work it out, you make the song, it becomes an initial success at the same time.
Of course, yes, because we had, the song was going viral in Hawaii, and we had all of that. That's before the remix now. So the remix came after, because you know how the labels work. They have to see that something kind of gains traction before, they jump on board.
So how do you get on board? Someone calls you, they said to you?
Yes, so that was between Specialist and Ultra.
Ultra Records?
Ultra Records, yes.
So this is Patrick Moxie?
Patrick Moxie.
Decides to make 2 different kinds of versions of it, 2 remixes.
Yes.
Walk me through that process. You're singing it again?
No.
Or they're just using your vocals?
No, they just use the original vocals.
Okay. So when this starts to sort of go viral, first of all, how you're hearing it everywhere, or how are you?
Yes, man, definitely, and you're getting the calls. So you're getting the calls, you're hearing it everywhere. We did a promotional tour. And whilst on the road, I was in a country that, I've never been to this side of the world in my life, and I'm hearing my songs on the radio. So that was a pretty big deal for me. And then getting the reaction from people as I'm performing the song, like, ooh, okay.
How are you, when this is happening, so you're hearing it all over the place, you're going and saying, and people are just
singing along. Definitely, people take over the show, singing along to it, and I definitely knew that I had a foot in the door. But in my mind, I was always saying the work has just started. The work has only just started, and that's only because I wanted to make a career out of music. I didn't want it to be, a one-time thing, you eat a food and you go home. And, for me, no. I wanted to pursue music. I wanted to hear my music in movies. I wanted to collaborate with people. I wanted to produce with other people and write and, just be very involved and integral in music.
When you get pulled into the record company now, Ultra Records, how does that facilitate what you're talking about, that vision?
Well, most definitely, because they have the reach. They had the engine to really, push you as a talent, and that's where major labels come in, really and truly. They get you out there. They have all the connections, and they have a product to begin with, of course. But everybody plays an important role in terms of breaking an artist.
So they have people who are doing, are they teaching you to speak? Are they teaching you to interview? What's the process for getting you out there?
No, Clifton Dillon is probably the only person that invested in me in that way, meaning teaching me stage presence, teaching me how to move, you know, how to use a stage and all of that. I think most of it, the record label, they don't do that. No.
When Dillon is teaching you this, how is he?
He hires, no man, he hires people. So he would hire people to come in, dancers to come in, choreographers to come in. As it relates to interviews, as it relates to how I present myself, that has always been me. And I don't think that is something you can be coached in, because no two scenarios or situations are alike. You might be with an interview that will throw you a curveball question, and you will have to know how to navigate that question.
What are you thinking through when you're on stage? I've seen one of those stages. I don't remember the name of the ball, and it was like just massive. There were just people.
Summertime ball.
Summertime ball. There were just people.
Oh my God, that was 80,000.
Everywhere.
That was 80,000 people. That was a 360-degree stage.
Yes.
And it was one of the hardest stages to perform on, because you have to be giving your attention to everybody, and you have to know how to, you know, navigate the stage, because you drop off, you know. And that to me was one of the biggest stages I've ever performed on, in terms of, you know, crowd, in terms of viewership, in the reach. And I think next up is the Taylor Swift show.
How did it feel?
Man, it was nerve-wracking, but it helped, because you have one of the biggest songs in the world, and everybody was kind of singing along to it, so it made your job a little easier. So it was no longer about proving yourself anymore. It was just about being present, you know?
But all of this, though, is, I mean, we talk about it now and you reflect on it in that kind of way, but this is also a tremendous amount of work.
Of course.
What is a day like? You're just getting up in different cities all the time. You're moving around constantly.
Yeah, man, definitely. As a touring artist, you know, it's tough. It depends on how long is the tour, because you have to be thinking about wardrobe and all of that, and you know, you have to think some of the shows are back to back. You have a show here, and then you have to get on a plane as you come off stage, fly to the next venue, do sound check, then you're back performing there again, and then back on another plane. And some of these flights are 6-hour long, 12-hour long, because the reach, you understand, you're doing world music now, so there's a wider audience to kind of meet the demand, you know.
I want to talk about some of the other demands, but let us take our first break on Profile for this episode. My guest today is the cheerleader himself, Omar Omi Pasley, genre-bending Jamaican and international artist, and we're back with you after these messages.